This is Ureb Show from Gum Nation TV. I am Bimbola Ojo, your host. And on parenting series tonight, we're still, going to be continuing with wisdom for 24th century parents. Last week, Doctor was able to give us some points, on how parents today need to update, the way they relate with their children. He talked about, we bonding with them emotionally. He equally talked about we allowing them to give us a hug. He talked about, we not creating any form of barrier by they using their phones, laptop, or whatever technology they are used to. With me in the studio is Reverend Dr. Sheung Orebi. Sir, you are most welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate God for all our viewers home and abroad. And we pray that God of heaven in his power and might will continue to keep each and every one of us on all sides in all areas in the name of Jesus. So
Amen.
we'll be looking at wisdom for 21st and century parenting. What do we need to know at this time for us as parents in order for us to be able to connect to our kids instead of them being connected to the technology that is advancing on a daily basis around them? Because if we don't know what to do, it becomes so easy for our children to grow up around us, and there seems to be a wild gap and a wild difference between us and them, because you don't get to see your traits in them. You don't get to even see how you relate with them, because they have always related with the tabs, with the tablets, and with the smartphone that you bought for them at one time or the other in the course of their growth. So there is need for us as parents to know how can we actually come in between the technology, the smartphone, the tablets, and our children, so that we can be able to bond with them, connect with them, and then they also can have a sense of how do I put it now? Sense of emotional connectivity to you as a parent, and there is need for you to know what to do before you can actually relate with them, because what you don't have as a parent, you cannot give to them. Yes, as your children. So we talked about tell your children you love them as often as you can, and we also mentioned in the last episode, engage in family bond and activities. That means you get to do things with your kids that can, make them miss you, in case probably they are not even around you per time. So there must be family bond and activities. And then we talked about hug them, the hug to a kid go a long way to be able to keep them not just warm, but they have a sense of emotional attachment to the one that get to hug them, often. So, and then we're going to continue from there, as we look at several other wisdom and tips on what we can do as parents that can actually help us to be able to bond with our children, and not allow them to bond always with technology, per time. So number 4, ask questions. Get to know your child. You might be surprised by what they are thinking and what is upstairs in their reasoning. So ask them questions, because we are talking about bonding with your kids and coming in between the smartphone and the technology, and there is no way you can get to the bottom of that without you having to know what is upstairs. What are they thinking about? How do they reason? How do they perceive things? And what are their perspective about life and about things around them? So when you ask them questions often, it makes them to relate with you. And in the course of them relating with you, it becomes so easy for you to know how they think, how they reason, and their perspective towards things around them. Because, when you keep a child in an interview format, the child will code for you. He or she will not open up to you. So you have to make it as informal as possible. Okay. That simply means you just flow with them without, making them understand that you really want to deduce or pick up things from their words of knowledge. So ask them questions and expect them to answer you. And no matter the answer they give to you, don't be shocked by whatever they say. Just, swallow it, but it will only help you to know how to adjust their thinking or adjust in relating with them. So because whatever you deduce from their response is what will help you to know how they think upstairs. because there are some questions that you can pose to your kids, and the response they will give you, you'll be so surprised, because you can't think, or you may not even expect that they are operating at that realm of thoughts. So there is need for you to know that asking your kids questions often will go a long way to help them and to help you to know what is up there in their mind, and what are they thinking about, and what are their views about things around them. So then we go to number 5, model kindness to them. Model kindness to them. It is rapidly becoming a lost practice in the world today. Model the type of characteristics you hope to see in your children. They are watching you, whether you like it or not. Set a good example for them, because kids live by observation. They are observing you, they are watching you. So whatever you want them to become, you have to model it. And if you can model it as a parent, it becomes so easy for them to pick it up from you and relate with you and relate with the world around them based on what you as a parent have modeled to them. Because if you don't model kindness to them, you don't expect them to be kind. Because the way you relate with your kids will go a long way on the way they will relate with you. Like for instance, there was an instance one time, of a mother that is always like, oh, hey sweetheart, can I get that stuff? How much do you say this? Oh love, how much do you say that? Just a normal relating in a normal environment. So the kids pick up that and was relating with her classmate like that. And the teacher was so surprised and like, why are you calling him sweetheart? How are you calling him love? Because that's the way the mother relates. But in the Western world, that may be a norm. It may be a norm, things that they do on a regular basis. But in this part of the world, it's a strange thing.
Doctor, I want to ask a question that can that work in this kind of setting?
It's a strange thing because of the setting we find ourselves. And then we just have to learn and keep learning. Because our way of relating with people go a long way to be a model that the kids around us can also follow. Like for instance, there was a particular parent that is always shouting on their maid. And even the other people that came to live with them, family, relatives, she's always shouting on them and calling them names. And that is a name the child pick up and started calling those people.
Wow.
So whenever she's not around, those one will carry the kid and scold him for calling them those names. And it becomes something else for the kids not to know the difference between the way the mother relate with them and the way he should relate with them. So he was relating with them as the mother was relating with them. And then those ones will always discipline him whenever the mother is not around. Until he get to learn his lesson that he's not meant to relate with an adult like that, especially when he's not the one taking care of them or feeding them or whatever. So where are we going there is whatever you model to your child is what your child will pick up. So model kindness to them, and they also will pick it up to be kind to those around them.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Parents out there, Doctor is trying to tell every parent that you are your children's role model. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Don't forget, like I do tell you, the number to reach us on is +2348054 281604. And if you wish to join us live, we're on Facebook. That is Seun Orebiyi on Facebook, Dr. Seun Orebiyi on Instagram, and of course on YouTube we have Gum Nation TV and Seun Orebiyi TV. Still on the topic, wisdom for 24th century parents. Doctor, before we went on the break the other time, you were talking about, the way parents relate with kids out there, and the way we relate with parents here. I mean, the way parents relate with their kids here. So, like a month ago now, there is this kid that came from over there, and the ones here too. They were talking, and the other one, just like you have said, was like, "Oh, there, don't do that, don't do that, don't be silly, don't be," And the other one here, took it personal, and they were like, "Mommy, she's calling me names, she's saying I'm silly, she's, so in a situation like that, because I don't even know how to like, settle the issue. So what do you advise one do in that situation?
There is nothing to do than to educate the one that is from this.
Because the other one was really so embarrassed that.
The truth of the matter is, our culture, our environment, has already molded us to a particular mold and shape, and which, when we get to find ourselves in the midst of those that their culture and the environment also has molded them differently, there is need for us to, as a parent especially, you don't just tell your child, oh, just leave her and leave him. That is how they behave. You let your child know that where this child has come from is a normal world. And don't be silly, is not a curse. Neither is it an insult. It's just an advice. It's just a suggestion. So don't be silly. That is not you are silly. There is a massive difference between don't be silly and you are silly. Because until we let these kids understand this grammar, many a times it's not our first language, especially in this part of the world. So many a times we find it so difficult to relate with it.
I hear you.
Like somebody saying, are you mad? The person and the other person is saying, he's cursing, and he also begin to whack at the person. So no. That is a question.
That is whack.
That is that is abusing the parents of the child, that was telling him,
sorry to cut you this waka thing, because I grew up with that. What is that really saying?
No. It's just an abuse. No. It's an abuse on the parents.
Doing like this?
It's a sign. No. It's a sign of abuse. And because of our culture, what the culture taught us or molded us to believe is that when somebody opened the 5 fingers at you, is a curse on you, is a curse on your parent, or the person is cursing your parent or abusing you or abusing your parent. So then anytime anyone sees that, the person is just like, why are you doing that? But you go to some part of the world whereby, when they open the 5 fingers on you like that, is a wave.
Yeah.
And if it's a wave in their own corner, then they won't see any big deal in that if anybody wave at them. So right, now, if somebody from this down here, somebody from this part of the world now find himself
real deal.
No. If somebody from this part of the world find himself in their midst and they are waving the person will walk back. The person will thought the person is greeting back, but the person is telling you back to say that. So where are we going there is the fact that the environment and the culture has molded us differently, and that is why it becomes so easy for a child that probably was taken out for the first time from this part of the world, and on getting to that part of the world, they just shut down the lights in a particular room, and somebody else come in and turn the light on, and the child shouted It's just a mold.
Oh, doctor.
Up never. Why? Because the switch was turned on. The child never knew that the light didn't go off in the first place. So because the light went off, the child thought, they turned the light off for the child to sleep, not knowing that he wasn't sleeping. And when somebody else came into the room and turned the light on, and the child they thought was sleeping shouted up never. And then the other guys were like, what is he saying?
What's wrong with this one?
It will be strange to them because they have not lived in the culture or in the environment or in the geographical location where the child grew up before coming to be with them or visit them. So it rose to the fact that our environment has a way of shaping us and molding us. And that is why even our society, and that is why for you as parents, you can't leave your child to just grow on their own in some environment. There is need for you to ensure that you mold into them and model into them what you want them to pick up. Not only what the society will bestow upon them or give unto them or mold them into. Because the society will do, the molding automatically. There is nothing you can do about that. Your child will go to school. Your child will play with the mates in the community. Your child will go to the park. Your child will go to the field. Your child will relate with other kids in the school. So there is no way you can stop your child from being influenced by the environment. But what you can do majorly is to model what you want your child to have or in him or her right there to him or her in the house. And as you are doing that, you are telling him or her why they should follow the model and why they should not follow the model that the society is pointing or painting or molding them or forming them into. Because if you don't do that clarity, the kids will thought you are just trying to stress them by trying to give them double way of life. And then you have to make them understand it's not double way of life. What they do on the street, what they do in the society is not totally right. But this is the right thing. So your child will go out there and do what is right. That is what modeling is all about. So either kindness, either moral or whatever, you have to model, because they observe you as kids more than what you say. You can tell your child, I will do this, don't do this, do that. Your child will not do any of those things you say. Your child will do what you do, what he or she observe you doing. That is what your child will pick up so easily, because kids learn more by observation and they pick more with what they see than what they hear. So there is need for you as a parent to know that modeling go a long way for you to be able to inculcate into your child what you want him or her to grow up with, and the journey becomes so easy from there.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor is telling us, mold the right thing in your children. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Don't forget, like I do tell you, the number to reach us on is +234 8054 281604. That is WhatsApp only. WhatsApp only. And if you wish to join us live, we're on Facebook. That is Seun Orebi on Facebook, Dr. Seun Orebi on Instagram, and of course on YouTube we have Gum Nation TV and Seun Orebi TV. And please don't forget to share your timeline too, so that other parents can benefit. Doctor, welcome back, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
So we go to number 6.
Number 6.
So you must create time out to, spend time with your child. No matter how busy your schedule might be, spend time with them. Excuse me. As much as you prioritize your time to be at work and to work to make money to be able to take care of them, you must also prioritize the time that you spend with them. Because if you spend time with your child, they get to see that they are important in your life. But if they see you spend more time with work and less time with them, they get to see that you have no time for them. So they will look for something else to be able to keep their own time. And then, on the long run, you see them so emotionally attached to their system, to their laptop, to their smartphone. And then even there are times you come into the house, they won't even lift up their head to greet you welcome. You just see them still typing as, hey, how are you? Mommy, welcome. And they are not even looking at you. They are not even running at you. So, but when you create time for them, you cover time for them, you clear your schedule to be with them at one time or the other, it goes a long way. Especially if you are around them. It goes a long way for them to see that you can clear your schedule to be with them. You can clear your schedule to spend time with them, and it goes a long way for them to value that time you are spending with them. They won't just take it for granted. But if you take them for granted and all you want to do is just to work and give them and make money to send them to school, they will take all those things, but it will never be enough. They need your time. They need to sit down with them, probably one-on-one, look through their notes, look through their material, do some things with them, spend time with them. It goes a long way. We mentioned that in bonding, but also cover time. Don't prioritize work above them.
Yes,
Don't prioritize work above the time you're going to spend with them. In your busy schedule, the little time you spend in the house, you are just off in your room, lock up the door, and then you claim you are resting. And then they knock the door once or twice, and it's like, go and do something with your time, I'm resting. And that is the little time that they see in the house, and the next minute you are gone. Spend time with them. It will go a long way to be a long way to be in their memory that you spend time with them, so they will also model that to spend time with their own family when they grow up. And then number 7, when your child asks you to stop a particular habit, stop it. When your child asks you to stop a particular habit that you also know is not good, and they happen to be the ones like, mommy, I don't want you to do that, that they don't do that again, please stop it. What they are telling you is that they've seen that what you are doing is wrong. So it becomes wisdom on your part as a parent not to react, not to lash at them, but to just make them understand, what do you mean by that? Come on, you're not meant to talk to an adult like that, but don't worry, I'll see what I can do. Or just find a way to just be mute. Because if they correct you on this today, correct you on that tomorrow, and you refuse to change it, it will be difficult for you to correct them. Because they will not change. They have modeled it and see it in you, that even if they correct you, you won't change. So how will you want to correct them and make them change their ways? Like for instance, the mother taught the child that when they come on the dining, they shouldn't rest at the end on the table. So one day the father came so tired, just ready to munch his dinner and go and rest. And then he was so tired, so he just put his hand on the table and he was eating. And the child would tell him, Daddy, someone take your hands off the table. He said we should not put our hands on the table. And then what did the father did? He just laughed at him and took his hands off the table and do the normal stuff. Why? That is wisdom on his part as a parent, because he realized that the child understand and remember what he has instructed him in the past. So for him to have done it contrary and the child corrected him, is wisdom on his part to be corrected as a parent. Because if you refuse to be corrected, he has lost his regard and prestige to the child, because the child will realize that this man cannot be controlled, so how can you come and control me? So no child wants to control you, but what you have told them from the deposit of the knowledge you have imparted into them, they want to pick from there and relate with you. So when you now say, you said this is wrong and you are doing it, just withdraw and stop doing it. It will be so easy for everybody in the house to go in the same direction. But when you claim you are the Almighty and then you know what you are doing, they cannot correct you, then they will wait for you till the day you want to correct them too. And they will tell you to your face. Because we need to be careful with this technology age children. They have computer brain, and their brain is garbage in, garbage out. That's why we're talking about this wisdom we are relating with on. We're going to stop here this particular episode, and we're going to continue by next week. But if you don't be careful with them, you will realize that you feed them with let's say white information, and then they will later come back after you have polluted that white information with brown, to come and tell you, now you are telling us brown, but you told us white before. Wisdom demands that you also ensure that now that you realize they still remember what you have told them, they remove your brown and stick to the white. Or else, once you create the pollution, they will live with that and they will run with that, and then they will be waiting for you to come and tell them to also remove brown and keep white when you have not kept the white.
So in other words, your kids could be the mirror you need.
They are even your reflection. When you see them do things, aside from things that you can be sure that you have not done before in their presence, when you see them do things that relate with you, is a sign that they have seen you do those things and they are now reflecting it back to you. So it's a sign for you to know that I have to stop this, because this child is picking it up from me. And as soon as you stop it, you will see them too, they will stop it. And they will start modeling what you started. So there are things you must stop, and there are things you must start, especially around these 21st century children, because their brain is computer. And whatever you garbage into it, they will garbage it out for you, word for word, letter for letter. They can even quote you, and you'll be so surprised that you said they still remember what you said. So where are we going there is this: you must be, you may not have to be technological savvy for you to be able to relate with them, but you must be conscious of what you do, that you can be able to stay in between the technology and your own child, so that your child will not grow up around you like a robot, that after some time you cannot even tell who is the father of the child or who is the mother of the child, because the child does not even look like you and the mother in character, in behavior, in speech, in words. So but you can do something by ensuring that you apply this wisdom to stay between your child and the technological advancement, so that your child can grow with you and not grow with technology under your roof. And then ensure that whatever you model to them is what they will model back to you. So be a good reflector and they will reflect back to you good that you have reflected to them. Because whatever you give to a system is what the system will give to you, and that's the kind of brain they have. Whatever you give to them is what they will give back to you.
Output.
So if you give them what is right, they will give you back what is right. And if you give them what is wrong, they will give you back what is wrong. And whatever they see you do is what they will do. Whatever you say, they will not do, no matter how right what to say. If you keep doing the wrong around them, they will keep doing the wrong back to you, to show you that they see you and they are watching you and they are observing you. So I pray that God of heaven will give us wisdom,
Amen.
and knowledge,
Amen.
and understanding,
Amen.
as parents, to relate with these kids
Amen.
that God has given to us.
Amen.
Many of them may not even be direct kids, they may even be grandchildren.
Yeah.
And they see you and observe. There was a boy one time that the grandmother, always go about the house as we close. I may call it a day on this episode, and the grandmother will put her hands on her back, and be walking gently. They never knew the girl has been observing the grandmother. So one day the parents were inside. So the grandmother was in the sitting room with the child, and the grandmother now stood up to go and do something outside, and as she was going with her hands at her back, and the tiny girl was behind her with her hand at her back too, and bent like the grandmother. It was the parent that came out from the room.
What are you doing?
They're like, what are you? And the child just stood up and then turned her hands, on the sides. There is need for us to see that they observe everything. And they see everything. So they will do what you do. They will model your words, model your speech, model your tone, model your character, model everything for you. But you can model them right when you model the right thing to them, and the journey becomes so easy. So God keep you, God uphold you, bless your household, bless your family, bless your children, and you will never have cause to weep over your children in the name of Jesus. And the wisdom that God is sharing with us all through this platform, I pray the grace to apply it rest upon you and your household in the name of Jesus Christ. So God will keep you and preserve you. He will keep your family and preserve your family and protect you all, and it shall be well with you all, and so shall it be. But please share this on your timeline. Let other parents benefit from this knowledge, so that we all can grow together around our children and grandchildren in this 21st century, and we can be able to allow them to grow naturally and not grow with technology. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank
Thank you so very much. Okay, viewers, you've heard it all. Reverend have said everything, all we need to, know about this. Okay, that'll be all for now. Don't forget, like I do tell you, the number to reach us on is +234 8054 281604. WhatsApp only. Till we see same time, same hour. Stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.